Without. The problem is not pleasures. The problem is that pleasure experienced without prior requirement for pursuit is terrible for us. It's terrible for us as individuals, it's terrible for us as groups, and I have great confidence in the human species to work this out, but we are finding now, and we are going to increasingly find, that those who will be successful, young or old, are going to be those people who can create their own internal buffers. They're going to be able to control their relationship to pleasures, because the proximity to pleasures and their availability is the problem.
I just seen a lot of stuff going around about like incels and guys not taking action, and just low morale all around when it comes to the male populace, especially guys between the ages of 17 and 30. It's a different time now, guys. It's a very different time. Pretty sure you could all surmise this. Back in the 20s, 30s, or even the 40s, you'd get a factory job or something, right? And you'd have a chick that liked you. When you approach them, and you'd be treated with respect. You wouldn't be so... You see those feelings of doubt and all that stuff you have inside, all those anxieties. That's more of a feminine trait. You guys aren't meant to feel like that. You're meant to feel sure of yourself, confident. Those days are gone, guys. We're a bit displaced nowadays in this climate as men. I say we're displaced, but it's not really displacement. It's just the standards have risen. The standards have risen. And with those rising standards, we must rise up now. It's our time. Nobody else is going to do it. We are the ones who have to do it. All it takes is dedication and patience. Hard work. Take two versions of me. Put them at 18 years old. One version of myself, I look at myself and I go, I'm not happy. This is not the life I want to live. I don't want to be this guy. I'm skinny. I'm like not really very good at communicating. I don't have any good prospects for a job or anything like that. I'm just like floating through life, okay? And then there's another version of myself. Same thing. He doesn't really have any prospects going through life, and he looks at himself and he's like, and he just gives up. The first one, who's unsatisfied with where he is in life, he's gonna feel down for a little bit. That's that feeling of depression that you have. That's my idea of depression anyway. When you feel that down feeling and you know you have to change. And he changes. He starts putting action in. He starts changing the stuff that he can change. Little by little, he moves that meter along. Little by little, every year, he can see himself changing just a little bit. Maybe in the first year, he puts on 10 pounds of muscle, new beginnings or something, right? Maybe the second year, he got a better job. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just more sociable. Maybe he stops jerking off, you know? Maybe he stops watching all them nudity type content. Doesn't get too deep in that no-fap type of stuff, but, you know, just avoid wasting your energy, if you get what I'm saying. The other one still doesn't take action. He's just looking at his life and he's like, my life is shit. Nothing's gonna change. I'm not gonna do anything. Just content with being mediocre. Where the hell does that come from? Where does that come from? Because I know as men, we all have that burning fire inside of us. All you have to do is go 4 days without busting a nut, and I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know that intense feeling you get, where it's like everything comes into clear focus. It's an uncomfortable feeling, yeah. If you don't really have any way to get rid of that energy, you don't really go to the gym, you don't have a job that you're working on, you don't have any long-term goals that you're aspiring to. It could be a lot of pressure for some guys. And I understand why guys end up overstimulating their dopamine by just doing drugs, just jerking off, chasing fucking bad women. Excuse my language. I've been trying to improve on not swearing anymore. But just chasing bad women, going to the wrong places, doing the wrong things. Just for that feeling of, I feel good now. When I was younger, I used to make that same mistake, in college, I know, like freshman, sophomore, even some junior year. You put your validation and stuff outside of yourself, where you feel like, okay. The way I put it, when I was growing up, I never really had my dad like in the same house with me every day. You know, I was more living with my uncle and my grandpa. Those are two guys I adopted my life off, pretty much. Those are guys who, they don't take shit from anybody. They see something, they want it, they go get it. My uncle, he put in a lot of hard work. He came to this country and established himself, you know. My grandpa, he's like old school Jamaican. So a lot of my beliefs, like, they're stemmed from him because he raised me pretty much, right? Growing up, I had responsibilities. Like, yeah, I went to private school, but like before I went to school, I would have to get up in the morning. Sometimes I'd have to rake the yard, do the dishes. When I was with my aunt for a little bit, like, I had like responsibilities on her farm, you know? So it's like stuff that I was doing every day that just kept me active, kept me just engaged with the world around me. Now the kids that I see, it's so strange. They wake up in the morning, roll over, grab their phone, they start scrolling. They see all this type of stuff going on in the world. And we're humans, we're social creatures who we live our life based on how the entirety of humankind live their lives. So we roll over, we take our phone up, we start scrolling on social media. And you know, we only see the extreme. So like literally 0.0001% of like whatever hell crazy stuff is going on, whatever is like extraordinary, just stuff to get your dopamine levels like pumped up pretty much. When that happens to us, we innately deflate our own dopamine levels. When we're looking at people doing like stuff that we want to do, all that light in your eyes early in the morning is not good for you as well. There's I forgot what it was. Andrew Huberman, he's like I forget what he is, neuroscientist or something. But I was listening to a podcast that he was on the other day with like this other guy. I'm gonna plug it right here.
The problem is not pleasures. The problem is that pleasure experienced without prior requirement for pursuit is terrible for us. It's terrible for us as individuals. It's terrible for us as groups. And I have great confidence in the human species to work this out. But we are finding now, and we are going to increasingly find, that those who will be successful, young or old, are going to be those people who can create their own internal buffers. They're going to be able to control their relationship to pleasures, because the proximity to pleasures and the availability is the problem. If you look at the increase in use of drugs of abuse or prescription medication, which at least at the first pass deliver pleasure, pain relief, the whole issue with the opioid crisis and dopaminergic drugs like Ritalin, Adderall, you know, there sometimes is a clinical need, but tons of people are taking those recreationally now or to study. Huge dopamine increases are what those cause. That is a problem. That's a serious problem, because it creates a cycle where you need more of that specific thing. I always say addiction is a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. And, you know, and I don't like to comment too much on enlightenment because, you know, I don't really know what that is as a neurobiologist, but a good life, we could say, is a progressive expansion of the things that bring you pleasure. And even better, is a good life is a progressive expansion of the things that bring you pleasure and includes pleasure through motivation and hard work. And understanding this pain-pleasure balance, whereby if you experience pain and you can continue to be in that friction and exert effort, the rewards are that much greater when they arrive. And so if you look at any drug of abuse or any situation where somebody isn't motivated or thinks now they may have clinically diagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but a lot of what people think is ADHD, it turns out, is people just over-consuming dopamine from various sources. And also the context within a TikTok feed is, the context switch is insane. The brain has never seen, first of all, this is the first time in human evolution that we wrote with our thumbs, but that's a pretty benign shift. And then the other shift is, normally you walk from one room to another, or from a field into the trees, or from a hut into, or a house, or whatever it is. But now you can get 10,000 context switches in that 30 minutes of scrolling on Instagram or TikTok.
But essentially they were saying pretty much waking up and looking at your phone is literally the worst thing for you early in the morning. It's gonna make you depressed because it's gonna like destroy your dopamine levels, like. And it just resonated with me because like I remember times when I wake up in the morning when I used to like be on social media a lot, and I would literally not feel motivated to do anything, dude. Like, just so overstimulated with all these things going on in the world, like, especially around election time, dude. Like, everything is just so heightened. It's like people are the weirdest. Like, I don't really get it. But anyway, let me not get off tangent. But pretty much what he was saying in that video was like, we don't want to be doing that, because like when you do that, it takes away your motivation, because your dopamine is also a part of like what plays into your motivation as wanting to do things as a human being. Especially as a young man, you have testosterone and dopamine, so if we're not careful, we could really get like trapped in a loop, you know. You could get addicted to, say, sexual content like porn and all that stuff. That's why porn is very vulnerable for young men. You guys got to be very careful about that. My thing was, in college, I used to make the mistake of thinking that every girl that I was with was like, oh, that made me feel a little bit better. Like, it gave me a little validation every time I hooked up with a new chick, you know? I should have been focused on my schoolwork and, well, I was focused on my soccer, but that was mostly just enjoyment. I wasn't using my dopamine in the areas I needed to, is what I'm trying to say. So after a while of not overstimulating your dopamine receptors, like by not playing video games 24/7, not hooking up with chicks 24/7, not viewing porn 24/7, not partying 24/7, not drinking 24/7, not sleeping, you know? After a while of not doing that stuff, your dopamine levels, they balance out. You know how once a junkie gets high, after that point of just being high for so long, they eventually drop lower than their level of dopamine that they had before. So they're literally feeling worse than they did before they did the thing to get their dopamine high. So it's basically the same concept here. So once you stop doing all those activities that heighten your dopamine levels, like eventually they balance out and it comes back up to your baseline. So your baseline is where you want to be. That's where you're going to get enjoyment from doing the stuff that takes you forward in your own life. Stuff that's not like instant gratification, more long-term goal-oriented type stuff. That stuff that you could like just grind on slowly and not really see any, I don't want to say any results, but you're not going to see immediate results really. Just like going to the gym, like that's why I keep saying it's like a cornerstone for me, like going to the gym, because I could just extrapolate off that and be like, okay, I went to the gym and it took me a while to see any significant results. So if I'm like grinding here, I'm not gonna expect results right away, right? It's gonna get me to keep working. You want to enjoy the journey. You don't want to be thinking about the destination, right? So when you're dopamine tightened, you don't want to do that, because like the hard work literally feels like hard work. It's not meant to feel like hard work if you're working on yourself, you know? Like once you're improving, like that's what you want to be feeling your dopamine levels increase from. Like, bro, I don't know who else needs to tell you, but like you need to learn how to control your energy. When you're young, like all you men in your 20s right here, I'm talking to you right now. When you're young, you have unlimited energy, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. I never thought I could work 2 jobs at the same time. I'm doing 2 jobs, I'm recording videos, and I'm going to the gym at least 5 hours a week right now. You know, so it's like, I'm doing a lot right now. And I still find time to read every now and then. I still try to listen to my podcast when I can, so I could be learning, you know? Oh, man. It's fascinating to me the amount of energy we actually have, dude. Like, since I stopped partying, stopped smoking, stopped hooking up with random chicks, dude, like, the amount of energy I have is ridiculous. Like, look at my body right now. Like, I've been like grinding my ass off in the gym for the last 2 weeks. I've been like working 60 hours a week at least for the last 2 weeks, you know? And I still have this energy to record this video right now. I just finished watching that Chelsea game. Go Blues. We just drew at Man United, but whatever. But I hate seeing guys give up, dude, because like I know you guys have that fire inside of your chest. Why don't you want to use that fire? I don't get it. The simplest thing to do, I shouldn't say the simplest, but one of the easiest ways to like start improving yourself is just cut out the bad habits. Naturally, you're going to want to take action, because as I say, the chemical makeup of your body is going to make you want to take action. Testosterone is still there. Even if you got man boobs, it's just low test, dude. Get some sunlight, get some vitamin D tablets, start lifting heavy weights, clean up your diet, go to bed earlier, you know? Good habits. You don't want to be on the screen 24/7, dude. You do not want to be on the screen 24/7. And the worst place to be 24/7 is inside your house. As you can see, I do most of my videos like outside or when I'm in my car, because it's like I'm doing stuff all the day. I'm Jamaican, you know, so may chat different. But I'm doing stuff throughout the day. So it's like I'm not going to just be like Right now I'm in the house because I was watching the game, but I'm not gonna be just like inside the house 24/7, dude. Like I gotta be taking action, right? I know exactly what all you guys want. You guys all want to be successful. You all want to get to the point in your life where you're like so comfortable that you don't feel any anxiety, any fear, any of that stuff. You just want to be confident, striding through life, knowing that you got everything taken care of. I have that same dream. That same dream. I'm gonna build a nice farmhouse, dude. Like, and that's all into like that's in my plan right now, and I'm laying the groundwork for that right now. A big old farmhouse with a lot of land, dude. Beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I'm gonna be the man of the house, the one who all the burden's gonna fall on. I need my wife to be happy and just like in her feminine, be able to enjoy raising our kids so they could be like really productive members of society. You know what I mean? Like, guys, you gotta take action now if you want stuff in the future, dude. Like, I know you see all the chicks, they're partying, right? They're our age and they're partying. All they're doing is partying and going here and there. Like, dude, you can't live your life like that. These chicks, when they get to 29 and 30 and you get to 29 and 30, you're not gonna want them anyway either. So it's like, why are you distracting yourself with chicks at this moment when you can just grind on your life, you know? You know what you have to do. You already know what you have to do. If you don't know what you have to do, just try what I said. Cut your bad habits out for a little bit and just look deep inside of yourself. Get a journal if you need to. You know exactly what you have to do, dude. So take action. It's your life. Your life. Your one life. Your one life, dude. Nobody's gonna take that action for you. So do that shit yourself, man. Most of all, stay safe and stay productive. One step at a time, just one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Perp, out.